Hey, everybody, it's Mike, and this is Not Your Mother's Day Fantasy League podcast. As always, I'm joined by our one and only Dave Buck. Dave, how are we doing today?
Doing pretty good, Mike. How's it going tonight?
Going pretty well, other than this Monday night game where there's some drama on the line for me, and I don't like it.
Nope.
I don't like it.
Well,
Um,
we got three games tonight that's contested. That's still going to go down to the wire tonight. You're in a dogfight with Aaron. I got too much cap money,
um,
dead cap money roster against you. How Aaron has a dog in this fight, I don't know, but he's done it
uh,
somehow.
well, we're gonna get right into it. So I guess, as always, we'll start with the top left of this list, which is me currently losing to the 1-11 Raiders by 7. He's got a defensive end going tonight. Or no, I apologize. He's got
He's
a
got a
corner.
corner, Darius Slay, and a safety, Kevin Bird, still going tonight.
That's me.
No,
I
he's
got
no, that's you. He's got Trent McDuffie going tonight, a corner.
There we go. So a 7-point lead and two corners to one corner. Yeah, I picked the corners that are going against the passing attack and should rack up tackles. We'll see. But yeah, I'll never hear the end of this one, just like the last time I lost to him,
Well,
which you brought up on the stream about a month ago.
yeah, you don't want to be that guy to lose to Aaron and his $80 million cap hit. The bad news is I got to talk about his $80 million cap hit. Even if he
Mm.
does cut McDuffie before the game, he's a second year player, so there's no cap hit on it. So it's not going to add to that $80 million cap hit.
Yeah, I can't catch a break here. So Sheldon Rankins, I benched last week and he scored 51. This week I start him, nothing. Still got his snaps, but nothing to show for it. So yeah, that's fun. Brock Purdy was Brock Purdy, so that's nice. But yeah, 48 out of Blake Cashman here is yeah, really, really not cool. All right, moving on here. Maybe that's our viewer. We had a viewer. I don't know if we still have a viewer. We
We have
do.
a
We still
viewer.
have a viewer. Nick is going to be pulling away from Gavin with a 22-point lead and two players yet to play.
Yep, and Gavin is done tonight, so he's final. So this one's over. You can put it in the books. The significance about this game here, Bengals currently in that 2 seed right now, looking to possibly get to the 1 seed if the Jets come up short tonight. So there's some interest there.
Yeah, that is definitely intriguing. We will come back to that with these other ones here. Um, Dave really putting a pounding on the Browns this week. 299 with 3 yet to go tonight.
I'm one of those feast or famine teams. I either score big or I don't show up. So this was a good week for them to show up and hopefully put Dan and his Browns back into place where they belong.
Well, it looks like Micah Parsons, although you said he did all of his damage in like the first few minutes of the game.
He did. I turned the game on, or I turned on the phone, looked at his stats, and he had like 2 sacks in the first 5 minutes of the game. And I'm expecting somebody going off. And by the time I turned it back on, it's in the fourth quarter, and he's got like 2.5 sacks and only, barely any points, any additional points.
Yeah, it's a really rough linebacker week for him. Wow.
Well, I did find
Yeah,
lightning in a bottle. Tank Dell came up big for me again this week.
yeah.
I'm having fun with him being Stroud's favorite receiver.
As you should be. Man, and you had two other quarterbacks get you 30 on the bench here.
Yeah, and I played my worst quarterback. Kyler Murray's got to be better than that.
This is the matchup of three viable quarterbacks because he had Dobbs and Wilson on the bench. Wow. Talk about QB depth. All right, moving along here. So yeah, you're gonna take care of business here. This one is actually very intriguing. Even with that 85-point lead, Jeremy is not safe.
Well, Braxton's sitting here, 85 points down. He does have 5 players left to play. Travis Kelsey, Swift, Brown, Reddick, and Blankenship. So he's got a lot of firepower left. If this game turns out to be a shootout, which it probably will be, um, he'll get his 85 points. So I did up some totals. Those 5 players are averaging 104. So if they hit their average, that's 104, and that more than covers the 85. So he'd win by 20. So, but you still got to score him.
Got to score him. Welcome, Nick. It's nice to see comments on the chat here. We appreciate it. Um, we know that some of you watch along later, and that's fine. But it is definitely fun to get some feedback while we're doing it.
Well, it's good
The
that Nick just commented that he couldn't get the sound to work, so it's all right now because we're done talking about him already.
Oh, yeah, yeah. We already talked about your matchup. Looks like you're going to win. I thought this was kind of funny. So Greg Zerline here goose egged as a kicker, where the Giants scored 6. Yeah, apparently those were not field goals, and he missed the extra point.
Whoops.
That's kind of funny. What other kind of big point totals we got down here? Anzalone doing his thing once again. 11 solo tackles. My goodness. All right. So, yeah, that one is definitely intriguing here. This is one of the matchups to watch for tonight. Down 85, but Braxton has a lot of players to go. As you can see, he's still got 3 flex players going tonight.
Players.
So, yeah, so plenty of offense on the field tonight for him. This one is not over, folks. This one is, though, and Rich may lead the league in scoring this week when it's all said and done.
Rich has a chance to get to that 400 point mark again for the second time this year. He'd be the first one to get to that 400 point mark twice if he can get 13 more points. So good luck, Rich.
And for a minute there, I thought that the Jets were going to keep that game interesting. The Bills came out looking pretty bad in that first quarter, and then it was all Bills from then on. Yeah, just some other high scores in this matchup. Good production out of the backs here for Joey. I mean, you can't be mad at 304 with 1 to play. I mean, you just face the better team this week. It is what it is. I mean, look at this. All these 20s. He didn't really have anybody that totally killed it here. He's just got a bunch of guys in the mid to high 20s. So just consistent production top to bottom over here.
Rich has got a solid team. He's going to be trouble. He makes the playoffs. So part of that AFC East, bad for the tough 4 teams over there.
Yeah, speaking of feast or famine, this guy Calvin Ridley, I really thought he'd do a lot better than he has this year. I think his totals look fine, but man, he's either going to crush you or only get a catch or 2, and this is one of those games where he went off.
2 touchdowns, 35 points.
I mean, I can understand why he benched him. He's been hard to predict this year.
So even with this win by Rich, he did avenge some 2 losses to the Patriots earlier in this year, but Joey's going to hang on to the tiebreaker with Rich, since that will come into play.
Oh, the implications. Speaking of more implications, this one is over, and Dustin's just going to increase his lead tonight.
This one's interesting because, it's over. Dustin's going to pull out a win here, and what that win's going to do is it's going to give him the head-to-head tiebreaker with Eric and his Jaguars. So Titans are going to jump up into that division top four seed, and they're going to drop Jags and Eric and his Jags back down to a wild card spot. So this one definitely has some playoff implications to it, even though that Jacksonville's outscored him this year, but not in the head-to-head.
And Eric may have just lost Mark Andrews for the season.
Yeah, he is out. Andrews is out. Everything I've read says Andrews out for the year.
I was reading something about there may be a timetable for his return, but I think that's just entirely overly optimistic, and maybe more like a an NFL playoff appearance, not a Week 17 fantasy playoff appearance.
So probably
Um,
something like Aaron Rodgers, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly. If he tries to come back while they're like, while the Jets aren't very good, he's crazy. Stay at home, dude.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's already getting paid.
yeah, he's got nothing to play for. So yeah, that one is over, just extending his lead. This one's a little bit rough for our co-host who could not make it tonight, as you can see. Woo.
Well, Jason didn't make it tonight. I don't know if he could stomach whether or not he wanted to talk about the results of this game or not. Um, Obviously, Josh is in a he's got a plan to not take that pink license plate away from Jason. Jason's thinking he might want to take it, so I don't know. But right now,
Wow.
Aaron's got that pink license plate lined up, unless he can put a couple wins together. But
Well,
anyways, good
I'm
win for Josh. It's going to be back to back wins for Josh. So good job for Josh.
well, I'm not trying to help Aaron get out of that plate. We're gonna take care of business tonight, and this is gonna be your pink plate bowl right here. Uh, let's do that. Let's have the two lowest teams. Nick, commissioner feedback here. The two lowest teams have the pink plate bowl. First week of the playoffs or something. Do it.
The toilet bowl, the
Yeah.
pink license plate bowl.
Yes. So just to take a gander here, Kittle was the only player on this team that really did anything, which is how you end up in the high 100s. Ugh,
Well,
too rough.
Josh was getting 45 points out of Trevor Lawrence this weekend. Outstanding.
Yeah. Yeah. He got a good game out of Trevor, who again has been up and down all year long. And of course, as he goes, Calvin Ridley goes, and
But
those
he also
two
got
just
50 points out of Khalil Mack. I mean, that's two
did
games.
the right
He
thing.
had 150 points. I don't know what his year-to-date point total is, but probably 80% of his points are in two games.
Seriously.
I gotta look that up. I
I
gotta look.
know, right? I'm curious too. He's got 3 sacks outside of those 2 games. So yeah, most of his
Khalil Mack's
damage.
got 244 points on the year, and he has scored about 140 of them in two games. So
He had one other game at 34.9 here at the Jets. So
yeah, but he had that one game at, what was it, 90 points? Yeah,
yeah,
against the Raiders right
92.
there.
92. And that he was on the bench for that, unfortunately.
Crazy.
Uh, so yeah, that one is our pink plate bowl here. Last but not least, more intrigue. Look at this potential upset.
This one's interesting. The Chargers come in at 5-7. The Broncos sitting at the top of the division, one game ahead of you, as a 40-point favorite in this game. And lo and behold, by the dust settled last night, it's a 12-point game. 12-point game. The Chargers got one player left. Running back Pacheco, who's averaging 19 points. Sean and his Broncos has got two players left. He's got a kicker and Jarius Sneed going off. Both those guys averaged combined about 21 points. Um, if everybody hits their averages tonight, it's still within 10 points. So, you're talking about one or two plays that could make a difference in this game tonight.
Lots of parity in that AFC West. I thought I heard there wasn't any. All right, all right. Just getting my jabs in. Speaking of jabs, if you are interested in watching the show in the future, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you are subscribed, you'll get notifications when we go live. So you don't even need me to share the link for you. Isn't that nice? So had to get that out there. Let's go into I want to do this again because I've been doing this in the last few weeks and I think it's interesting. We're gonna go to this week's highest scorers. Khalil Mack once again.
Crazy.
Yeah. Blake Cashman. Yeah, I'm up against that. Kind of coming out of nowhere. Brock was ridiculous. Jalen Phillips has been a monster this year, and of course, so is Fred Warner.
Yeah, look at that
Uh,
number 10 guy, Tommy DeVito. Who would have thought 35 points from him? He got sacked like 8 or 9 times in that game.
I was gonna get there. Everybody in the pick'em took the Commanders. Like, there's no way DeVito is gonna lead this team to a win. They have no offensive line, and sure enough, they destroyed the Commanders. Wow, outscoring Allen and former MVP Lamar Jackson. Look at this guy. Wow,
By the way, after the
great.
season, he will be available really cheap if you're interested in him.
No, I would have been interested in him before the trade deadline. No, no, unless you want to drop him. So. Oh man, good stuff. Good stuff. You just never know. Sometimes guys just need opportunities. All right, so next week, of course, is going to be loads of fun because we have another double header week ahead of us. And this is not divisional week double header. So going into this, I am looking at being an underdog in two matchups here by nearly 20 in both. Ouch.
Well, you're
Ouch.
playing both teams are in the playoff hunt, so those are both playoff game have implications on them. So those will be good games to watch.
Yeah, Nick's coming out a big favorite over Jason's team. Dustin barely with the favorite over the Browns. I got to tell you, he has one team that's much better than his record.
Yep. I get the Jags next week. Currently a 12-point dog against Eric and his Jags.
That could be close. Your team as well is better than its record. I think you've outscored me this year. Um, Gavin is the favorite over Josh. The Bills and Broncos, that'll be a good one there.
That'll be a
Jamie's
good one.
coming out,
Also with playoff implications in that game.
yeah, coming out as a 13-point favorite. Joey with the 68-point favorite over Aaron, not quite matching Aaron's cap number.
No, it's still early. That point spread could move.
It's true. He might cut somebody by then, so you never know. Hopefully somebody with experience. Braxton coming out a big favorite over Jared. This is another interesting one too. So Sean's got his
Sean's got
my
tough weeks
divisional,
ahead of him.
yeah, my divisional foe here has got his work cut out for him against the Jets and the Bills next week, coming out as the underdog against both. Joey favored over the Chargers. Rich a huge dog over Aaron by more than the cap number.
More than the cap money.
Jason hopefully will take care of business, or he might find himself in that plate bowl.
And that plate bowl, that's right.
Dave, big favorite over the Texans. Browns Jags could get interesting here for sure.
Well, we're getting to the point where the Steelers, the Browns, the Chargers, they definitely have to go 2-0 if they want to continue to stay alive in the playoff race. We'll see if the AFC East, those teams continue to beat on the rest of the teams that are not in their division. So I think we may have a little bit clearer picture of a playoff race after the doubleheader next weekend. So.
And we might as well, I guess, plug our only viewer here. The commish is a 35-point favorite against Dustin. Nick does have a very good team, so we may not want him to keep winning. But I've been in the league long enough to know I'd rather have Nick win than the Titans.
Yeah, but I got to root for Dustin and his Titans next week. That's just the way I am.
I get it. I don't want to repeat champion, so that's one thing. So there you go. That is our week 11 recap, and looking forward to week 12 with all of these crazy double headers going on. Yeah, Nick's trying to put Dustin back in his place. He's getting too cocky now that he's got a ring, right? Or that probably won't. The ring won't matter, will it? He's going to be cocky no matter what.
He's got the ring, but he's also got 2 out of 3 wins over the Jags. So somehow he has found himself back on top of that division.
Man, if I could somehow figure out how to beat Sean, that would be nice. I better figure it out the last week of the season, or I'll find myself out of the playoffs again. So can't have that happening. All righty, guys. Thank you, Nick, for joining in. Again, we do appreciate it. It's always more fun when we got people in the comments. So thanks to you, sir. Dave, anything else for
Yeah, I just
tonight?
want to say, hey, folks, go watch yourself a good football game. You got the Eagles and the Chiefs tonight. This should
Yeah,
be a quality game. Even more interesting is we got three games that are, depending the outcome of that game, it's going to affect our league. So, a lot to cheer for, a lot of players to cheer for or not to cheer for, and it should be a good game tonight.
absolutely. Great game tonight and a lot on the line. Good point. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. This has been Not Your Mother's Day Fantasy League podcast. I'm Mike, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.